Hello, everyone. I know that many of you will be watching this after I actually tape it. So I just want to welcome you. Oh my goodness, it's been a minute. I have not been here for a long time. I am the same Miss Renee Tarot that was here years and years and years ago. And I dropped off and began doing something else. So I did not have time to create YouTube content. But this has been on my mind. Hello, how are you, Yashira? This has been on my mind for a long time. Well, actually, not too long, but for the last month. And I said, if it stays on my mind, I'm going to continue. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to just wait. Okay. Um, I want to first introduce myself to you. I am Renee Tarot, and I do tarot readings. I do them on YouTube. I do them on TikTok. Sometimes I do them on Keen. I do them for myself. I do them in a variety of different places. I also am on Purple Ocean, I think is what it's called. So I have been doing tarot readings for many years. Used to do tarot readings on YouTube many years ago, and then I canceled that channel and started doing some other things. Now, I wanted to talk to you about what was going to be happening in 2024. I have a blog also, reneetarot.com, and I did a tarot reading and astrology reading right at the start of 2020 and basically predicted some things about COVID before we even knew what COVID was. So, we're going to be talking about some major things having to do with women. I also want to talk to you about the decks that I'm going to use. I actually do what some tarot readers consider to be sacrilegious, which is mixing decks. So, this deck is a couple of different Rider Waite decks, which I mix. And I also have a deck of oracle cards that I mix to include cards that I have created, like this one, which will I will show you from time to time. So it depends on what the question is, what questions come up as to what I will do. So here we go. Now, the first thing I want to do is talk about what I saw in astrology. The chart that I pulled was the one for the day after Yule. Yule ended like on December the 21st, which was the shortest day of the year. And then the day starts to get longer right on the 22nd. So I chose that as my new year, and December 22nd, 2023 at noon is the day that I ran the chart. And there were some very interesting things that came up in that chart. The chart showed Mercury retro at 0 degrees in Capricorn at the very top of the chart. And on top of that, same location was the sun. So, in looking at Mercury retro and the sun in Capricorn, it seems like there are a lot of things that people want to get done that might not end up happening. You have to be very careful that what you want to do in 2024 is something that's ordered by your ancestors, ordered by the spirit, ordered by just something that is recurrent in your mind. Don't just waste your time doing things for the sake of doing things, okay? Because you're going to have a lot of energies working against you if you don't follow the plan for your life. All right. Now, the sun and both conjunct Mars, which is the god of war, god of sex, god of action, which was in Sagittarius, meaning that a lot of the action in Sagittarius in the ninth house has to do with tradition, patriarchy, war, things that are typically perpetuated by the establishment or the powers that be. And women in particular are not going to be for this. Now, this is going to take place on the international stage, is going to take place in the home. There will be some women who will decide to change things. Every year, women can decide to get a divorce. Sometimes women, especially in this day and time, they will feel like, if I leave this marriage, what will the judge decide? Will I leave with everything? Will I leave with nothing? Will I lose my home? Will I lose my children? Well, this year in 2024, if you are going to leave, and I am not necessarily a proponent of leaving, that's a whole nother video. But if you are going to leave, this is the year to do it because the law is on your side. Yes. And we're talking about breaking up. We're talking about leaving jobs. We're talking about leaving jobs that could result in you taking your employer to court. The courts will be on the side of women this year. Now, the sun is conjunct Mars, as I mentioned, in Sagittarius, which is about it's about action, it's about negative action, maybe sometimes toward you. Sagittarius is a horoscope that has to do with guns, has to do with arrows, has to do with weaponry. In the ninth house, it has to do with tradition and has to do with old, just traditional religions, religions that are actually um considered right now to be what's in. Like for instance, Christianity is a main religion, Islam is a main religion. Religions force, as they always have, to pull people in or to fight against others, but this time it's going to be to detriment. All right. Now, even with everything having to do with the countries that are out there now, you know what's going on in the news. I don't necessarily want to mention these countries. I will say the name one time: Israel, who are pulling away from mainstream thought, as you already know. A lot of these people will be headed; these groups will be headed by women. Okay, women going against status quo. Um, Yashira said it's breaking up bad. You said if you are going to leave and then it cut out. Okay, so um what I'm saying is that I feel like if you're going to leave a relationship, specifically a relationship where you have a family, children, a marriage, you have a lot of financial ties, you really do need to consider all of your options. Think about everything that you need to do. Think about what's best for you. Think about what's best for your family because we do live in a day and time right now where everybody is a proponent of walking out. So do what is right for you. Now, we do not advocate people staying in relationships where their lives are in danger or their mental health is in danger or things of that nature or their children are in danger. You know, it seems like right now we're living in a time where we're really seeing who humans are, what people are doing. People are doing a lot of really bad things to each other. So, unfortunately, we are headed to a time where our tribes are going to be smaller. No longer will we be able to kind of hang out with the group because, as we've seen in the news in the recent years, sometimes you may go out with a group or you may go out to travel with someone and they end up really detrimental to you. And that has happened so many times in the news where people have gone out to travel with people who were their friends and things of that nature. And it turns out that those were not their friends after all. There was a lot of jealousy, there was a lot of envy. They had a plan, they had their cameras out, they knew what they were going to do the whole time. So, unfortunately, sometimes you have to be really careful about who you're going to trust. Okay? You may have to start over. That is correct. You may have to start over. And this time, this year, if you do have to start over, it's a good possibility that in the courts, if it does end up in court, the female energy will win because we have Venus in the eighth house with a sign that's going to give them inheritances. Court battles will be won by Venus, which represents the woman. Sometimes this will even mean who have a lot of Venusian qualities, men who are very much in touch with their feminine side. This will apply to them as well. Okay. Um, this will affect money that is bequeathed to women. things that they attain as a result of somebody's death, as a result of a husband's death, as a result of a father's death, as a mother's death, sometimes even as a result of a child's death, is one of those years where money will be coming ways that are not necessarily related to how much you have worked, but just related to either retribution from what somebody has done to you or as a result of someone who is close to you passing on. All right. And one of the things that everybody should understand is that on this flip side, it could result in people being angry. So let's say you do decide to break up with your partner and you take your partner to court, and because of the energy of the day, you win basically everything, and that partner is um told that they have to pay you and to give you financial support. That partner may not be happy about that. That partner may want to do something. So you have to make sure that you have something in place to protect yourself. Do not assume that they're going to go along with it. Make sure you do your due diligence. Make sure you have people looking out for you. Make sure you have people checking in at the settlements, inheritances, judgment that are coming across the financial landscape, the transfer of wealth to women, the transfer of wealth to women. This can make you a target. So that means as you gain this money, as you get this, who are you going to tell? You're going to go out and tell everybody how much money you have? No, you don't want to tell everybody what you're going to have. Are you going to go out and advertise it on social media? No, you don't want to advertise this on social media. What you want to do is you want to spend wisely. You don't want to say and point the finger and things of that nature. Be humble with it so that you do not create a situation of anger as much as possible, because we are living in a time where people are watching, okay? And it's not that you are afraid of them, it's just wise, okay? So once again, in summary, with regard to the astral chart, if you are if you're desirous of change, if you're desirous of legal change from partnerships, things, and you're going to take them to court, now is that, specifically if you are a woman, because it's very, very likely you are going to come out on top in that court case. But also be warned, everybody's not going to like that. Okay, so now we're going to actually look at the cards. We are going to I'm going to start off with a 5 card spread. I don't want to rush through this. I know sometimes I have a tendency to rush through my YouTube videos, but this time I'm not going to. I'm going to take my time. I hope that the video is not going to it's not breaking up or anything of that nature. I hope that it's actually that you can hear it. So if you are listening, just let me know. I want to make sure that everybody can hear what I am saying. So I'm going to put out 5 cards. That is turned down, but I'm going to leave it that way. I'm going to leave it that way. And then I'll tell you what each of these cards means as far as where they are. Okay, so overall energy, Page of Swords. It also has to do with situations that are more in the mind than they are in the actual that are actually happening in reality, not necessarily a situation where you have a real problem. They're more perceived problems, but by worrying about them, they can turn into real problems, okay? As a result of these perceived the Queen of Cups in the recent past, let's clarify this card. Queen of Cups, actually working towards a situation, meeting with people, kind of make me disappointed in what has been happening in their life. And they actually end up taking some steps with the injustice to make some moves. Very, very recent past, they may have filed some motions. This is in line with what I was saying. They may have gone to see a lawyer. They may have made the first steps to talking to a lawyer. Okay. Let's turn this card over. This card is in the position of our current right now, and they are coming up with plans. Okay. We have the Three of Pentacles coming up with plans. We have the Three of Pentacles here too. So all through the last few months, even to this current point, you are in the process of creating a plan, make change in your life, a plan to come out on top and to do some things that you haven't been able to do before, a plan to go back and pull some of the dreams that you had that you want to recreate for yourself. You don't want to accept what you can't have. You want to go ahead and go for it. Okay. And you've got people that's going to help you to bring those plans. So your group might get smaller, but you're still going to have a group. You're still going to have people that are around you who care about you, who want to help you to make your fortunes happen. Okay. So you got to do something about worrying. You got to do something and why are you worrying? Why? Because maybe some things have happened in the past. You've had some bad breaks. You might have had some situations or some people to come into your life and to cause some things to happen. You may yourself may have made some mistakes, and now it's that you don't trust yourself. So you've got to start to trust yourself and get to a point where you can go for your dreams. You don't want to let go. This is not the time to quit. This is not the time to quit. Okay. So, in addition to looking at the tarot, I want to also look at some of the energies from the oracle cards and archetypes, energies that can affect you this particular year, 2024. Not the time to quit. 2024. If you add 2, 0, 2, and 4, you have the number 8, which is a number of new beginnings, a number of starting over, a number of things being different than they were before. You may have come out of a time of bad luck, a time where things were not working out in 2023, 2022. Now things are going to change. Things are about to change. All right. Okay. So we've got the femme fatale, the erotic energy of the divine feminine, of the feminine, but making sure we don't use that energy inappropriately. Okay. So again, this is the femme fatale, the divine energy. And we also have the card of tall tales, the lies we tell ourselves. Lies that we tell ourselves about ourselves, okay? Because we don't trust us. And one of the key things in 2024 is to trust yourself. Don't Who are you angry with? Don't be angry with yourself. Don't be angry with others. You got to let it go. It's time to focus on what you're going to do now. It's already happened. What has happened happened. The one thing you do know is that you're not the only one that it's happened to. It's happened to many other people. So don't let enmity set up in your heart to stop you from moving forward. This blocked heart chakra indicates that as a result of many situations that have occurred in the past, it can stop you from forgiving. It can create roots of bitterness, lack of trust toward others, lack of love for yourself, the inability to speak up for yourself, and things or of that nature. Okay, so Thanks, Shashira, for letting me know. It's still breaking up, and you rewinded, and it was able to catch a little of what I was saying. So hopefully the situation will clear out. Usually with these live streams, it does happen that way sometimes, and sometimes it's best to just record the video and then go forward. But I do want to give people an opportunity to also ask questions if they want to, if they come on to the live. Okay. So we're talking about blocked heart chakras as a result of things that have happened in the past and how 2024, the energy of 2024 is urging us to let go of those things. Sometimes it's good to have a little bit of amnesia. I say this all the time because it's better to not remember all this stuff if it's holding us back and to just remember just enough not to go back to it, but to move on so that you can laugh again, smile again, be happy, and embrace new things. Because as we go through life, we are recreating all over again. Over and over again, are we having the opportunity to make new moves and to do things differently? So it's going to take some work. It's going to take some work on that heart. It's going to take some nurture. And we got the card of new beginnings, the card of new beginnings. So that you, let's see if we can put this up so that you can see it. That's a person starting over. The world is your oyster. It's an opportunity for you to move forward, to let go of the past. And as you can see, this person is not carrying a lot of luggage. That means that there are some things that we have to let go. We're not going to be able to keep going and remembering and carrying everything from the past. It's like somebody leaving a situation that caused them pain, but then packing up all the memories of that pain and carrying them with them everywhere they go. No, you got to travel light in 2024. Got to travel light in 2024 and keep a youthful, fertile attitude. Keep a youthful, fertile attitude. As you can see, even in this card, the heart chakra is still activated, showing that we cannot let the situation with that has happened before to set up roots in our mind, because we are fertile beings, meaning that we can create situations and they can grow from seeds that are in our soul. Okay, so we have to be careful about what we plant in our soul. And then there is a card of disruption, meaning that it's okay if sometimes things have to change. If people have to go, or if we have to go, or you have to go, or what have you, sometimes that disruption is necessary in order for you to get to your next level. Okay. um and you got to take a chance. This is the card that's clarifying the disruption, taking a chance. Now, I'm not just talking about, a lot of times people feel like when you talk about disruption, you're talking about just your marital status or people that you're in relationship with. You're not necessarily just talking about that. Sometimes you could be talking about a family member, a friend, a neighborhood, so many different things that you may have to separate yourself from. In some people's cases, it could be a child or adult child that is not really necessarily adding value and just kind of taking and not learning. And then you, as a parent, specifically older parents, have to separate yourself sometimes from these children who are not learning. And sometimes by giving and giving and giving, we prevent them from learning. So you have to let them learn their lessons the hard way. It could be a sibling of yours. Let's say you are the responsible one and you have a sibling who is constantly coming to you for bailouts. You may have to say no. And that person may be really upset, but it may be necessary for you to take a chance and let them go their own way. I had a friend that said sometimes you have to trust that if the higher powers will allow them to go through, why shouldn't you? Not saying that you shouldn't always be there. Use wisdom, Know when it's time to come, know when it's time to go, know when it's time to help, know when it's time not to help. But don't become a crutch for anyone. Don't become a crutch. Let's continue to look at some of the other tips and signs that are coming through in 2024. Okay. Patience and planning. Now, 7 is the year that we just came out of. 7 is the year that we just came out of. And the number 7 can sometimes be hard to deal with. Hard to deal with from a standpoint of just having learning lessons that you do not want to learn, lessons that are hard, lessons that are difficult, but lessons nonetheless, lessons that we have to get through in order to understand what's going to be better for us in the future. Now, one the good news is that once you come out of that 7, like last year was, now you move into the time of new beginnings, creativity, things that happened in the past where you may have felt like, I don't have any more ideas. I'm blown out. My mind is blown. I just need a break. Okay, take your break. But I posted something on Facebook not too long ago. I don't know which channel it is because I have so many of them. I posted that sometimes when you feel like you want to give up, it's okay to take a break, but it's not okay to give up. It's okay to take a break, but it's not okay to give up. Sometimes you just need to rest. You need to rest because a lot of the things you think you need to do, you don't need to do. Okay? You can go ahead and take that break, and the next thing you know, you're healing from emotional loss, you're healing from disappointment, you're healing from things that have happened, and then you move on to a better day because you change, you evolve, you change, and then you move forward. Okay, so we're now going to be moving into making commitments. Making commitments. So, what are the energies? What are the spirits telling us about making commitments? Okay, it's making commitments to understanding who you are, what you need to do, and it's also making commitments about um, knowing that you have to understand that sometimes you have to do and say things that people don't like. Okay, so the goddess of shadows. Who is the goddess of shadows? She's the one that has had to go forward and tell people the things that they don't want to hear. This card says, "What you perceive to be your dark side holds a hidden treasure." You know how to get things done. You know when to say no. You keep your chakras balanced. And in order to keep your chakras balanced, sometimes you have to be a little bit firm with the outside world. You may have someone on your job that tells you, I am not going to, they're going to use you or they're going to try to do things to take advantage of you. You may have to say no. You may have to stand up and say, no, I'm not going to do this. You don't have to get angry. You don't have to get upset. You just may have to speak up for yourself. Let people know what you're going to do, what you're not going to do. You may need to let them know why. Unfortunately, these days, a lot of people don't listen. They may not hear what you have to say. And it doesn't matter as long as you know that you're doing what's right for you. Make the commitment to yourself. Again, we have more heart chakra coming up, heart chakra that prevents you from being the angel that you are. So let's look at this train of thought here. This, and I'm going to move these other cards out of the way, and we're going to deal with these three cards because they're really important. So obviously, it seems like I'm going to be talking in this video to people who have angelic qualities, qualities of the angel. A lot of times, you are the one that people always come to. You are the one that's always trying to help others. You are the one who feels like you're there for others, but they're not there for you. All right. So even though you want to give, you just give up sometimes. And it causes you again with that heart chakra card to be blocked. But you're getting ready to reignite your passions. You're getting ready to take care of yourself. You're going to heal, you're going to rest as much as possible. Even if you have to go to work and even if you have children. Gather the help that you need so that you can take care of yourself. Get the kids on a schedule, put them to bed, so that you have some time to yourself. Make sure that they're used to going to bed at a certain time. Sometimes it has to do with discipline, it has to do with scheduling, it has to do with getting people used to what you want. If you have to be persistent and consistent in order for your life to be more controlled. That is an important thing, okay? I want to go back to the cards and I want to specifically ask a question. The question that I want to ask is, what will occur? What other things do you want us to know toward that will happen specifically in the spring and summer of the year? Spring and summer of 2024. Spring and summer of 2024. It's a time of maybe some solo vacations. A lot of people do take vacations in the summer, in the spring and summer, and it's time to not look to be in the crowd. It's time to shine that light for yourself. Now, a lot of times when you are shining a light for yourself in the hermit mode, you're shining a light for everybody else. You don't realize who's watching you. You don't realize who is checking out the things that you're doing. And by being true to yourself, people are learning from you and they're learning how to be. When you don't know what to do, when your head is in the ground and you're trying to figure things out, don't think that you have to make a move. You don't have to make a move. Sometimes you need to get by yourself. And as you get by yourself, you will hear in that still small voice exactly what to do. The answers will come. The answer may come as a small thing. You do that small thing and don't think it has to be something big. You do that small thing, and then you'll see that it turns into something that is much better. Okay. And as you go through the battle, whatever battle that you're going to go through, you come out victorious. So, what I'm seeing is victory, victorious in battles in 2024, victorious in battles in 2024. This is a good thing. And the one thing you don't want to do is as you move toward the things that you want to do, don't look back so much. It's time to look forward. It's time for us to understand that we are in a new phase. Nothing stays the same. Everything changes, even if it goes around in a circle and comes back to square one. You still are going to be evolving. For those that believe in reincarnation, as you reincarnate, you're supposed to be a higher level soul than what you were when you die. You're supposed to be a higher level soul. So even as you come back, as you go full circle, when you come back around, you're going to be older, you're going to be wiser, you're going to be better. So don't look back. There is no reason to look back. All right. So, right now, I am going to end this stream. I'm going to go back and look at it. And if I see that there are some areas that need to be reiterated, I'm going to do a follow up video where I record it and then post it on YouTube. I understand that there was some breaking up in the video. I do apologize to you for that, for everyone who was trying to listen. We may continue this in a part two. May we may end up doing that depending on how, again, the quality of the video. And I thank you so much for your attention. You take care. Bye bye.